Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Australis Fresh and Flawless Foundation. So this has only recently been released and they've also released Fresh and Flawless Concealers. So I got two of these as well, one for concealing and one for contouring. So we're going to be trying them out today. So let's get straight into it. Australis, as we all know, is an affordable Australian brand. They are cruelty free, obviously. Now this foundation, the Fresh and Flawless Foundation, brand new. Let me pull up some information. The one I usually use from them is their Stay Put foundation, and I quite like that one. It is not full coverage though. This one here claims to be full coverage and infused with vitamin C, and it is SPF 15. So this one here is vegan friendly, which is really good to hear. A lot of their stuff, I feel like most of their new releases have been vegan friendly, which is really good. There is, how many shades? There is 30 shades in this one, which is quite a big deal because usually Australis has like only around 6 to maybe 10 shades in each of their foundations line. So this is a huge improvement. That is the color range there. It says it is a full coverage, ultra lightweight foundation with skin loving vitamin C and E and SPF 15 to moisturize, smooth and protect. Say see ya to pores and fine lines and hello to a soft airbrush finish that'll party with you, not against you. Look fresh and flawless all day, every day. Not tested on animals, vegan friendly, 24 months. It sounds quite watery in the little container. This here is a plastic container, which is quite convenient, especially when you travel, anything like that. And now I grabbed the shade Natural Buff, which I was just judging off their website. Looked about right to me. This one here costs $19.95. Ooh! Currently it's on sale for $14.96. I'm going to start with doing half the face, and it is also the standard 30ml size that most foundations come in. So let's open it up. I haven't opened any of these. So it's a little squeezy tube sort of thing. I'm going to put a bit on the back of my hand and let's see how watery this is. It's quite watery. That's surprising, especially because it says it's full coverage. So I'm going to dot some over. Oh, I think I went too light. Damn it. Oh well. I'm going to dot some over this side of my face and we will have a comparison between the other side of my face after applying this. I do in general prefer a pump top because I find it easier to give you sort of the same amount of product each time you use it. Oh, I'm just using my Fabulous Velvet Complexion Sponge. I love this sponge. That's what I use to apply all of my foundations. So that's what we're doing. I would say the coverage does look like it's pretty good. It is very lightweight. It's nice. Okay, I'm going to zoom you guys in so we can have a closer look at my skin. Okay, so this here is the side, obviously without. I do have some pimples going on today, so and this here is the side with it. That's one light coat. It is really lightweight. That's nice. And we will be doing a wear test today with it as well because that's what we do. We're going to apply a little bit more on this side to see how it builds up. It is so watery. It's really, was not expecting that considering it says it's a full coverage foundation. So I just got a little bit more, not the full amount that I put on the back of my hand. And now, if you don't know, I live in Townsville and it is stinking hot here at the moment. It is a bit of more of an overcast day today, so we might be alright, but it has been super hot and humid the last few days. So perfect time to test it. I would say I really like that coverage. I usually tend to go a bit lighter on the foundation anyway. I do feel like it is giving me really medium to full coverage. If I was to apply a thicker layer than what I normally do, it probably would be full. Like it's covering all my pimples, but out and about at the moment. The finish doesn't look like it's matte, but I wouldn't say it's like excessively dewy either. It's sort of a nice in between, which is nice because I've come to discover that I really do not like matte foundations. I do not find them very flattering on my skin. Even though I have more of an oily combination skin, they just do not sit nicely. Oh, okay, now that I've put it on the other side, it's very, very white. I look like the Joker. Oh, shit. Okay, so definitely not the shade I should have gone. It probably will match me when I'm not fake tan. You really don't need a lot, which is good. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the concealers. So far, so good. The Fresh and Flawless Conceal and Contour Concealer. Again, vegan. That's how they come. And now, normally I use their Bye Bye Blemish Concealer. That is my go-to and I love it. So I have high hopes for this one. So vegan, this one here comes in 10 shades. So not as many as the foundation, usually expected for a concealer. This one here is $13.95. And what does it say? Multi-purpose creamy full coverage concealer banishes unwanted imperfections while also doubling as the perfect cream, contour or highlight to add into your contour regime. They do actually have a colour match guide on their website for the concealers and the foundation. I just didn't use it. Okay, so I got the shade Light. There was two lighter. This one here might be a little bit too yellow. Yeah, okay, we're too yellow. I did think that when I was buying it. It's got an alright wand. Okay, I'm only concealing under my eyes, so I don't usually do the whole highlighting with it. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, it's a lot of coverage. More so than their Bye Bye Blemish one. Not sure about the colour of this one. Again, I probably should have gone the shade lighter, but then I thought that one looked like it was going to be too light for my skin. Oh, that's really brightened it up under there, hasn't it? Oh, it's caking a little bit with the foundation, but we'll see if we can fix that. Now we're going to do the the contouring with it, then I'll zoom in and we'll have a look before I set everything down in place. But it doesn't really feel like overly sticky or anything like that. Okay, so let's have a look at this shade. Okay, it's quite dark. I'll do it there first before we move on. Make sure we're not going too crazy. But it's blending out quite nicely. I don't want to put too much on because it does spread quite far. Okay, I've got a little bit of caking going on my nose now. Okay, I'll zoom in and let's have a look. Alright, so this is what it's looking like. I haven't set it with anything. Do you feel like there's a little bit of caking under the eyes? Oh no. I think I left it sit on my nose too long before blending and it looks like it has removed some of the foundation. So I'm just going to put a little bit more, that's where I did the contour. Just going to put a little bit more of the foundation just over the nose to try and fix it up a little bit. And then we'll try that again. Because it's taken it off on the sides. So I would say maybe work in the section that you're doing first before, like don't draw it over your whole face first. Apply it, blend that bit out and then move on to the next bit, you know what I mean? Because that did take off my foundation. Still not back, but that's alright. I will put a little bit more contour on there just to make sure. Try and fix it. It's just, I don't know if you can see, you should be able to see. It's actually removed like everything on my nose there. There's not even any contour there. So yeah. I don't know what happened there. But like it contoured fine over on my cheeks and up on my forehead. It is a little bit patchy up here as well. I do feel like it is grabbing at the foundation and lifting some of it off. So it might just be one of those ones that you got to work pretty quickly with. Like I would say, apart from just on my nose and just under here where I've put the concealer, I do quite like the foundation. The concealer, on the other hand, we'll see. I'm just going to now set it in place with my Fresh and Flawless powder. I do believe they have re-released this one too, just with new packaging. I've always used the Fresh and Flawless powder. I quite like it. Yeah, they've re-released it with fresher packaging. So I'm just going to use the one I have, which is the shade Deep Natural. So we're just going to set it in place. But it honestly does not feel like it really needs a lot of setting. It dried down quite quickly. It doesn't feel really overly sticky or anything. Just going to spritz over the Australis makeup finishing spritz. I've used this one quite a lot. It is one of my favourite ones. Mostly probably because it smells like rose and I like rose. Okay. Let's just fan that. And then I will go ahead and finish off my makeup and we'll do our first check-in. Caking around the nose area and under the eyes with the concealer. The foundation I'm quite liking, like it's not really settling into my fine lines around my mouth, which is good. It dried down quite nicely. So far I'm liking the foundation more than the concealer, but we'll see. Okay, so it is now 11:35. I will finish off my makeup and we'll be back in a bit. Alright, so I am finished the rest of my makeup and it has been nearly an hour. So we finished it at 11:35 before. So let's have a look now that it has got other... So now let's have a look now that we've finished off the face and we've put everything else on. The colour's not so bad now. That usually does tend to happen when you first put a foundation on and you've got nothing else on your face. It can look very stark and very pale compared to your skin. You can always fix that problem with some bronzer. I'm liking the foundation so far. I'll zoom you guys in and we'll have a closer look at the foundation. So I am liking the foundation. It is very nice and lightweight, which it says. The full coverage, I'm feeling like it's more on the medium side, but as I said, I tend to go pretty light with foundations. I don't put a heavy layer on. The concealer, I'm not currently loving. You can see here now that I've put more bronzer over it, it lifted some of the foundation there. So now I've got a nice white patch and there's some patching along the top, and we know what happened with the nose. I couldn't fix that. This side here, it normally has a little bit of patching. That's to do with my skin and where it will and will not hold pigment. But other than that, I am liking the foundation. Everything sat nicely on it. I don't even feel like it needed to be set. It was quite a it did feel like it set down a bit after I applied it. So I wouldn't say it's matte. It's definitely not matte, but it definitely has a dry down, which I didn't feel like the powder was necessary really. I am going to head out, do some stuff that I have to do, and then we'll check back in tonight and see how it has worn. But so far, so good with the foundation. The concealers, I'm not really a big fan of. Oh, I did realize, however, afterwards, I did forget to put my usual primer on underneath. I did have moisturizer and sunscreen on, which I normally do anyway. I just normally do put a primer on, and I did forget to do that. So that could be part of the reason, but yeah, the concealer not loving, but the foundation liking it a lot. So we'll check back in later, guys. Hey guys, so I am back. It is now 8:54, so nearly 9 p.m. So That is 9.5 hours now that I have had this makeup on. I have not touched up once. It has been a hot day, but not as hot as what it has been the last 2 days, but still quite warm. So let's zoom in and have a closer look at what my makeup is looking like right now. So, slight creasing in my smile lines, that is normal. Usually it's a lot worse, so I'm actually quite impressed about how well it held up in the smile line area. You can really clearly see where the concealer, this one that I used to contour, has taken off my actual makeup there. And yeah, so I'm currently not loving the concealer for contouring. It didn't do anything on my nose, it took it off. You can see it patching up here. You can definitely see how it's taken off the makeup there. This side, you can see it a little bit. It's not as bad as this one. But overall, I feel like the foundation held up, if we're just talking about the foundation, not the concealer, because I honestly am not that impressed with the concealer. But the foundation, however, I feel like has held up pretty good. It really hasn't moved a lot. Some of my natural oils have come through, but it's still in place. I don't feel like it faded at all during the day. I am going to try it again tomorrow without the concealer to see how it goes and if that is better in regards to those areas, and check that, because at the moment the concealer is really putting me off up here and over here. But overall, I think I really like the foundation. It was really nice and lightweight. I really haven't felt like I've had anything on my skin all day. It's the consistency, I was actually very surprised with the consistency. I was not expecting it to be so liquidy. And the fact that it had really good coverage and it's so lightweight, that is really awesome. Usually sometimes the full coverage ones are a little bit thicker in consistency, but that one is a really nice formula. I do quite like it. So I will be testing it out again tomorrow without the concealer, and then I'll put in the description box how I felt that went, and then I will try the concealers on their own with my normal Pixie Beauty Balm foundation. That is my go-to at the moment. So I'll use it with them to see if, like, you know, maybe it's just the foundation and the concealer don't exactly mix that well, which they should because they're from the same collection. But sometimes that happens. And it's actually reminding me a bit of the Beauty Bakery foundation and their concealer, because that sort of same thing happened where it lifts off the foundation underneath. And you can't really blend that well with it. So I don't think that was the foundation's fault. I do feel like that was solely the concealer's fault. So whether or not I just have to put it on and immediately work with it or not. So I'm going to play around the concealers a little bit more to see if I can get them working as best as I can. Under the eye, it didn't seem too bad. I did feel like it was caking at the start, but once I finished putting on the makeup and put powder on and everything, I didn't feel like it looked as bad. Out of the new foundation, Fresh and Flawless foundation, and the new concealers, I would say 100% the foundation is really nice. The concealers, at this stage, I would be giving a miss. So that is it, guys. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Please let me know if there is anything you would like me to try out for you guys. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!